What we do here is go back.
What is up, guys? Are you guys trying to buy a 79 bike and you don't know if you should go with the Falcon Pro or the Falcon GT? Well, luckily you found an idiot who made poor financial decisions and bought both of them. So please help me out and subscribe. Thanks. Alright, so let's hop on the bikes, talk about the specs real quick, and then we'll line them up side by side and see how they perform over a series of tests.
Alright, let's talk specs real quick. The Falcon GT is going to come with a 72-volt battery with almost 17 kilowatts of power with a 40 amp hour Samsung battery, which this thing has torque for days. Has Lewis brakes and a regen throttle. Suspension feels super nice on this thing, super plush. Absorbs all these whoops and bumps like no problem. Honestly, too much power. You gotta be so careful with this thing. Almost lost it there. So much torque. Alright, so now I'm on the Falcon Pro. This thing's gonna come with a 72-volt battery with 10 kilowatts and a LG 35 amp hour battery. Now, this thing still does have a bunch of torque, and it still takes off super fast, but it's definitely not as wild as the GT. Definitely a little bit more tame, but still plenty of power to have fun. Gets to a crazy top speed. I will say, having the regen throttle on the GT is a really nice feature. Honestly, I wish the Falcon Pro had it as well, but it is what it is. All right, let's see how the Falcon Pro handles the bumps. Honestly, the suspension feels really similar. I feel like the GT is a little bit better, but honestly, can hardly tell the difference. And the sand is super soft. Now, the GT does have a little bit more traction with that wider rear tire, but something you could upgrade if you go with the Falcon Pro instead. Alright, now I will say that the brakes on this thing do kind of suck. The brakes on the GT are a lot better. The front brake bites pretty good, but I will say the rear brake feels really mushy. Probably need to bleed it. That might help it a little bit, but it is something that you might have to upgrade if you go with the Falcon Pro. They're good for now, but we're definitely going to upgrade them a little bit later. The brakes on the GT are a lot better, and honestly, there's not really a need to upgrade those. But both of these bikes perform phenomenally. Alright, so I'm back on the GT. Let's do a quick hill climb test on this, and then I'll hop on the Pro and do it on that and see how it climbs. Let's go up this way. Honestly, power is not an issue at all. I mean, this hill isn't crazy steep, but it climbs with no problem. Has plenty of traction to get up. Let's see how the Pro compares with that smaller rear tire. All right, so we're back on the Pro. Let's see how this thing climbs the hill. I don't think power is going to be an issue, but it might struggle for traction a little bit more. That definitely struggles for traction a little bit more. All right, let's give it one more shot. Go a little bit quicker this time, see if we can make it up. All right, we got up that time. But yeah, the traction on the GT is night and day difference. compared to this thing. Unless you go wide open throttle on that thing, all that torque just breaks the rear tire loose. All right, give him his bike back. Get back on my GT. Look at that thing ripping. That thing rips, dude. Huh?
This thing's scary.
It has hella torque. On dirt, dude? This thing is wild, dude. That torque is nothing to mess with, dude. It freaking breaks that tire loose. Breaks the tire loose like nothing. So much freaking fun. The power is insane. I would say if you go with the Falcon GT route, you're not gonna want to upgrade it, that's for sure. At least for a while. The Falcon Pro, you might get a little bit used to it. You might want some more power later down the line. But if you're younger, you're a kid like him, that's plenty of power. All right, let's do an acceleration test from a slow roll. 3, 2, 1, go.
Damn, that GT takes off fast.
So this thing takes off way faster off the hit.
The GT may take off fast, but this is where the Falcon Pro pulls away.
But when you're at a higher speed, the Pro just leaves this thing in the dust, dude. So yeah, as you can see, the Pro at higher speeds just continues to pull away. She gets that thing up to 60 miles an hour, which is crazy. Straight out of the box, 60 miles an hour. That is absolutely insane. I don't think there's any other bike out there for $4,000 that does 60 miles an hour out of the box. This thing does fall flat on its face at 53, but I will say there is an update out for the GT, and supposedly it fixes the top speed issue. So once I get that done, I will make an update video and see if it actually fixes the issue, or if it's still stuck at 53 miles an hour.
Alright, so there you guys have it. Both bikes are phenomenal, to be honest. For $4,200 shipped to your front door, you get 72 volts, 35 amp hours, 10 kilowatts of power, and a top speed of 60 miles an hour. Is absolutely wild for $4,000. And the Falcon GT is a whole other beast on its own. 17 kilowatts of power for $5,000 is unheard of, to be honest. There's no other bike that even gets close to that for that price point. The brakes on this thing are way better than the brakes on this one, so that is an upgrade you have to do on this bike. This one you don't necessarily have to. And it also has the regen throttle, which comes in super handy. I wish this bike had it as well, but they got to make you want to upgrade somehow, right? But either way, whichever route you go, both bikes are phenomenal. You can't beat these price points, and you can't beat how these things perform and the specs that they come with. If I were to do it all over again, I'll still go with the Falcon GT, but for 4,000 bucks, Falcon Pro performs phenomenally. 60 miles an hour versus this thing is only getting up to 53, which there is an update out. I do got to update the bike, and we'll see what top speed we get out of it once we update it, and I'll let you guys know. So there you guys have it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video.
Hit that like and subscribe button.
We'll see you guys in the next video.